The words you're about to hear are over 2,000 years old, yet they feel like they were written for the chaos of today. They come from a man who believed strength was not in conquering the world, but in mastering yourself, who believed silence could speak louder than words, and who saw through the illusions of time, fear, and comparison. This isn't just philosophy, it's a mirror. And if you truly listen, you may never see your life the same way again. 1. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. It's easy to become paralyzed by the scale of a goal. We look at the summit and the climb feels impossible. We imagine all the steps we haven't taken yet, all the obstacles we'll face, and the mind fills with reasons to hesitate. But Lao Tzu reminds us that no matter how long the path, it starts with something small. One step, a single action that moves you from the realm of imagining to the reality of doing. That first step is a declaration. I'm moving forward, no matter how far I have to go. Without it, the journey remains a dream. With it, the dream becomes inevitable. 2. Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. The rivers don't rush, the trees don't force their growth, and yet the seasons turn and the world renews itself. We've been taught to believe that speed equals progress, that the faster we push, the more we achieve. But nature operates on patience and persistence, and nothing is left undone. Lao Tzu invites us to imagine what our lives would look like if we stopped sprinting for every outcome and instead moved steadily, allowing each step to find its own natural timing. Haste often scatters our energy. Patience gathers it. 3. Do your work, then step back. The only path to serenity. Control is intoxicating, but it's an illusion. You can control your effort, not the outcome. Lao Tzu's advice is to give fully to your work, then release it. Let it breathe on its own. This detachment is not apathy. It's the trust that you've done your part and that life will unfold as it should. 4. A good traveler has no fixed plans and is not intent on arriving. Life is not a straight road to a final destination. The best journeys are the ones where you allow for detours, for unexpected turns, for surprise encounters. Lao Tzu reminds us that rigid plans often blind us to the beauty around us. When you stop obsessing over arrival, you can finally enjoy the traveling. 5. The softest things in the world overcome the hardest things in the world. Water wears down stone. Kindness disarms hostility. Flexibility outlasts rigidity. Lao Tzu points to a paradox. Softness is not weakness. It's a form of strength that doesn't exhaust itself in direct confrontation, but instead adapts and persists until the unyielding yields. 6. Respond intelligently even to unintelligent treatment. You can't control how people treat you, but you can control the space between their action and your response. Lao Tzu's wisdom is to remain intelligent, measured, and centered even when faced with provocation. This isn't weakness. It's refusing to let someone else's lack of discipline pull you out of your own. 7. Care about what other people think, and you will always be their prisoner. When your sense of worth comes from others, you'll twist yourself into whatever shape they approve of. You'll live in constant performance, terrified of disapproval. Lao Tzu is clear. Freedom means releasing this need. Approval is pleasant, but it's not essential. Living authentically is. 8. Time is a created thing. To say, I don't have time is like saying, I don't want to. We talk about time as if it's something that happens to us, when in reality, it's something we allocate. Every I don't have time is a polite way of saying, this is not a priority, and that's fine, but be honest about it. When we strip away the excuses, we see the truth. We make time for what matters. If something is not getting your time, the issue isn't the clock, it's your commitment. This is uncomfortable, but freeing. It puts responsibility back in your hands. 9. Stop thinking and end your problems. The mind is a master at creating storms out of clouds. One thought spirals into another, and suddenly you're living in a future disaster that doesn't even exist. Lao Tzu isn't asking us to abandon reason, but to recognize when thinking has stopped serving us and started trapping us. Some problems dissolve not because we've solved them, but because we've stopped feeding them. Sometimes the wisest thing you can do is step out of the mental loop and return to presence. 10. He who knows does not speak. He who speaks does not know. This is a warning against the arrogance of certainty. The truly wise are humble because they understand the vastness of what they don't know. They speak less, not because they have nothing to say, but because they recognize the weight of words. Those who rush to prove they know are often defending fragile beliefs, not deep truths. Knowledge that's real doesn't need constant defense. It carries itself quietly. 11. When you are content to be simply yourself and don't compare or compete, everybody will respect you. The moment you stop chasing approval, something shifts. Respect, the kind worth having, cannot be coerced. It's drawn naturally to those who are comfortable in their own skin. Lao Tzu flips the modern script. Stop competing, stop measuring your worth against others, and you'll find yourself gaining the very respect you once chased. Because authenticity has a gravity to it. It pulls people in, without the noise of performance. 12. The more you know, the less you understand. Knowledge is a strange thing. The deeper you go, the more you see the limits of your understanding. Beginners think they have grasped the whole picture. Masters know the picture has no edges. Lao Tzu is reminding us that true learning expands our sense of mystery, not our sense of control. This humility keeps curiosity alive. 13. Great acts are made up of small deeds. We celebrate big achievements. The novel published, the company built, the championship won. But behind them are countless small acts repeated in obscurity. Lao Tzu draws our eyes to the unglamorous truth. Greatness is built in small increments, in moments that rarely get applause. If you want a great life, focus less on the grand gestures and more on the quiet consistency that makes them possible. 14. Knowing others is wisdom. Knowing yourself is enlightenment. This is more than self-awareness. It's about piercing through the illusions you hold about yourself. The ego stories, the inherited beliefs, the masks you wear. Enlightenment isn't some mystical lightning strike. It's the ongoing practice of seeing yourself clearly, without distortion, and living in alignment with what you see. 15. If you realize that all things change, there is nothing you will try to hold on to. We suffer when we cling. People change. Seasons end. Identities shift. Trying to freeze life in place is like trying to hold water in your hands. It slips through no matter how tight your grip. Lao Tzu offers freedom in accepting impermanence. When you stop demanding that things stay the same, you start to see beauty in their passing. 16. Knowing others is intelligence. Knowing yourself is true wisdom. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. We live in a world obsessed with reading others. Body language, social cues, personality types. But Lao Tzu suggests that self-awareness is the higher art. If you don't know your own patterns, your own weaknesses and strengths, then all other knowledge is a tool you may misuse. And as for power, it's not about bending others to your will. It's about commanding yourself when every emotion and impulse is screaming to take control. Self-mastery is the kind of power no one can take from you. 17. When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. Identity is a double-edged sword. It gives us a sense of stability, but it can also trap us. If you're clinging to a rigid idea of who you are, your job title, your past, your mistakes, or even your achievements, you leave no room for transformation. Lao Tzu's wisdom is an invitation to loosen your grip, to stop defining yourself so tightly that you suffocate your own potential. Letting go feels like loss, but it's actually clearing the ground for growth. 18. Silence is a source of great strength. Silence is misunderstood. People think it's empty, when in truth, it's full. It's the pause before a decision, the breath before a reply, the space where clarity is born. In a world where everyone is broadcasting their every thought, the one who can remain silent is powerful. Silence lets you hear the truth beneath the noise, both in others and in yourself. It is not weakness or avoidance. It is the discipline to wait until words are necessary and precise. 19. The best fighter is never angry. Anger blinds. It narrows your vision until all you see is the enemy in front of you, not the strategy that could end the conflict. Lao Tzu is not telling you to suppress anger, but to master it. The best fighter doesn't waste energy on rage. They direct every ounce toward precision, timing, and control. In battle, whether literal or metaphorical, the calm mind sees openings the furious mind misses. Power without composure is just chaos. 20. The flame that burns twice as bright burns half as long. Intensity can be intoxicating. In work, in relationships, in ambition. But it comes at a cost. Lao Tzu warns that if you live at a constant fever pitch, you will burn yourself out. Brightness is good, but sustainability is better. Learn to pace your flame. Lao Tzu's words aren't instructions to be followed once and forgotten. They're seeds, meant to be planted in the soil of your daily life, to grow quietly in the background until they shape the way you see the world. The chaos outside will never stop, but you can choose not to be ruled by it. You can walk slower, speak less, think deeper, and live as if you already have everything you need. Because maybe, just maybe, you do. If this message resonated with you, like, share, and subscribe for more timeless wisdom. Drop a message in the comments if you're learning to flow instead of force. Until next time, stay still, stay aware, and walk gently with the way.